the amount of time you have to put in for both to just be okay, let alone great, you wouldn't have the time. You have a bad game, you're going to question his commitment. There's just no way he would do it. The game of football is so fun. He's still playing at a high level. You can do all these smoke screens and, oh, man, I would love to be the full-time host. Whoever they hire, they're going to keep the job forever. Aaron Rodgers is going to play football for the next handful of years at a high level. He's not going to host Jeopardy. It sounds good. It's a good story. But he's a quarterback, and he'll be playing football.
By the way, you were a receiver, which is not quite as demanding at quarterback. Could you have had a second job full-time?
No, it's just the amount of physical preparation that goes into playing. Absolutely not. Because you're training sometimes twice a day. You're so physically fatigued, and a lot of times you're mentally fatigued. You don't want to do anything else. You come home and you just want to take a shower, sit there and relax every day because you're putting your body through so much. And we're just talking physically. And so mentally, you just don't have the energy to try to do other things, even if you wanted to.
Okay, so you work out with all these quarterbacks. So in review, you've told us that Zach Wilson is crazy talented. You've told us that Justin Fields is going to be great. Have you seen Trey Lance yet?
I have not seen Trey Lance. I've seen Trevor. I've seen Zach. I've seen Justin. I've seen Kyle Trask. Those are the only quarterbacks that I've seen getting ready for the draft. But, yeah, I have not seen Trey Lance at all.
What if he wanted to work out with you?
Oh, of course, always welcome. The competition brings out the best of everybody. So when you get guys out here that can compete, you see a guy that's your peer, you want to show him what I'm about. And so if he wants to come on out here and get this work, he's more than welcome.
Good stuff. TJ, great seeing you, buddy.
Colin, I appreciate it. You enjoy it. Take care.
All right. He knows his stuff. He works out with those dudes.
As I told you, he really actually sees them. Like he's on the field with Sam Darnold yesterday.
He sees their calves.
He sees their calves up front, yes.
That stuff matters.
No, it actually does. It does.
No, I get, people make fun of me all the time because I will call people trunky, or I get that from Parcells. I talked to Polian and Parcells over the course of the last 15 years, and they did. And by the way, Carson Palmer's brother, Jordan Palmer, excuse me. Jordan's always talking about Aaron Rodgers. He said, when you're close to Aaron Rodgers, his calves and his wrists are big. Mm-hmm. That's what general managers look at. They're not looking at your throat, just what's dad look like? What are your shoulders? What are your hips? When Sam Darnold came out, I talked to a GM who still loves him. And he is a West Coast general manager. And he said, hell, if you didn't know better, Sam looks like a linebacker that can run. He's like, you get beat up at practice. And they were like, when he came out, he said, first thing I look at is waist. You got a thin waist, you're going to get hit. Trent Dilfer used to call it pudding.
Yeah. No, if you look at someone who I always notice this with is Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes isn't a huge guy, but if you look at his trunk, if you will, of his stomach, like he's big. Like he's a big guy. I
don't want to see your abs as a quarterback.
No.
It's
abs
okay.
Abs are fun to look at.
They're great to look at.
They matter for other positions.
Corner.
they definitely matter for other positions.
So there is something to be said as seeing a guy up close.
Well, look at Brady. Brady is the perfect example. He completely changed how he trained because it wasn't about what you look like, having huge muscles and abs, and it's about longevity. It's all that matters.
By the way, check out How We Reach Coaching Tool. It's a free app, How We Reach Coaching Tool. You'll find steps everybody can take to prevent suicide, reach for support, reach to those who need help. Download the How We Reach app at Reach.
There's just no way we know the top 3 picks of the draft this soon. It has to be somebody else they're eyeing, but I don't know why they would try to hide it. Everybody knows it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and then I just can't envision it being Mac Jones, but maybe they see something that others don't. They better get him the type of weapons he had at Alabama where it could get ugly real quick.
Now, listen, the reality is stuff only gets out if people want it out. If San Francisco doesn't want this number 3 pick out, it would not be out. So that I'm with you. They like this stuff leaking and freaking people out. Okay. Cincinnati, you know them well. They got the 5th pick. Joe Burrow played with Jamar Chase, who is an unbelievable talent. Do you take a risk and say, we'll get the offensive lineman later? There's no other Jamar Chase in this draft. We're going with him and sacrifice the offensive line.
Colin, rule number one, protect the quarterback. And so if the Bengals can't protect the quarterback, they could have Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and T on outside. What does it matter? It is not going to make a difference. And so we get all the glory. We score the touchdowns. But I understand the game of football. Games are won and lost up front. And if you can't protect Joe, it doesn't matter. The Bengals can get a receiver that can contribute in the second round like they did last year with T. Higgins. Because Rondale Moore, and I've said this before, Rondale Moore, Elijah Moore, Tutu Atwell, one of those three receivers will be available in the second round, and they'll be able to help the Bengals just as much as a receiver in the first round. Draft a lineman, keep Joe protected.
Yeah, by the way, you love that Purdue wide receiver. Say his name again for our audience.
Rondale Moore, absolutely. Oh, my God. If he can stay healthy, this dude he's small in stature, height-wise. It's about 5'7", 5'8", about 185 pounds. He benched 225 23 times. The dude is so strong, so fast, and extremely – he might be gone. He'll probably get drafted in the first round. He's that good. He's just short in height. But, boy, he can play football.
Okay, how is Sam Darnold – you know Carolina's personnel. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore was really good, actually. McCaffrey. They went and got Dan Arnold, a tight end, a long tight end. O-line's okay. They need a left tackle. How do you think Darnold fits with the staff, the coaches, the line, the players?
It's the best group of guys. And we're talking, when I say guys, I mean coaching staff as well, that he's been a part of. Seen Sam yesterday. We're on the field throwing. Said, are you excited? He said, man, I couldn't be more excited. And so for Sam, this is his chance to go, not prove everybody wrong, just prove yourself right. You know you can play the game of football. You got DJ Moore. You got Robbie Anderson, who had the 1,200-yard season with you. And with you with the Jets. Now you have him back again in Carolina. You got McCaffrey. You have so many weapons. But the thing is, when I look at Adam Gase, Tannehill couldn't play in Miami. He's a stud now in Tennessee. Devontae Parker couldn't play in Miami. He had 1,200 yards as soon as Adam Gase leaves. Kenyon Drake was average in Miami. He goes to Arizona. He looked like he can play. Sam Darnold's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's really good. Adam Gase is not hireable. He is right. So you literally saw Sam Darnold yesterday throwing the football.
We were on the field yesterday, and I made it a point to ask him, how do you feel about the trade going to Carolina? He said, I couldn't be more happier. I'm excited. Exact words, verbatim.
TJ Hushmanzada lives the life I wish I lived, hanging out with Sam Darnold. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, Jeopardy host.